Hey, what is up to the best friends and family on YouTube? As you can see behind me, my SRT Durango is gone. The wife is driving it. Everything's all hunky-dory. My truck, however, is not, and it's not behind the garage door. And some of you may know where it is and why. Just a quick recap. My truck locked up on me on the highway going 107 kilometers an hour, to be exact. And basically skidded, screeched. Bunch of cars behind me. I was on a mountain. It was a pretty dangerous situation, to say it best. I'm just thankful that I'm alive and my family is not hurt, first and foremost. Now that being said, I have experienced nothing but hardship, if you will, with Ford Canada to be exact, and Ford roadside assistance, which is completely not assistance whatsoever. Basically, I called them when this all happened, and I had gears 8, 9, and 10. And gears 8, 9, and 10 aren't the best for going up mountains. And I found that out real quick. So it was unsafe, and the guy basically told me on the phone that if my truck is moving, limp it to the closest dealership. Thankfully, I was not too far away from the closest dealership, and it's weird, there's a dealership there because it's a very small town, but I lucked out. So I did that. Hung up on the guy because I was infuriated with him. Phoned Ford customer care. They were useless as well. They told me to phone Ford roadside, which I did, and it proved to be useless. So anyway, I get the Ford to Revelstoke. I'm trapped there for 8 hours because the highway shut down right behind me. There was a huge accident. So many people on the road. There was literally families sleeping on the ditch. Thankfully, I have a really, really awesome Ford advisor here in Edmonton. He felt super bad, and he's a buddy of mine, drives a Focus RS, and he came and got me. He drove 10 and a half hours, roughly, and got me because of the closure of the highway. There's a longer way you have to go through Nelson and then to Revelstoke. But it has been nothing but a headache, and I hope this never happens to any of you, because this has been nothing short of a nightmare. When I got home, I gathered my thoughts. I called them on the Tuesday morning because it was a long weekend. And talking to this lady on the phone, you could tell in her voice she was really sympathetic towards me and my situation. But at the end of the day, at the end of a 45-minute rant, I'm very polite to everybody I talk to because I know it's not directly their fault, but they can tell that I'm aggravated at the situation. She basically told me there's nothing to do, nothing she can do. She's going to write everything down. Here, she gave me an address to Ford Product Liability. And here's the kicker. I had to write them a letter. I could not call them. I could not email them. I had to write them a letter. So first thing in my mind is that is absolutely ridiculous, Ford. Not only is it unacceptable that you don't have a phone number or email contact, but it's like they're making you jump through hard hoops here to get anything out of them, so to speak. And this was a major fault of theirs. Like I said, my transmission locked up at 107 kilometers an hour and almost took me off a mountain hillside right before Golden, BC. And so thus far, absolutely no help from anybody for the last, whatever it was, 4 or 5 days. No help. The dealership in Revelstoke were awesome. Great folks. They were dumbfounded at what happened. The parts guys and service guys there have been extreme helps. So I got an email yesterday because I responded. I said, hey, where's the update with this? Because they are going to replace my transmission, but they're waiting like 4 months out, what I was told from Revelstoke. So I contacted the one contact I have through Ford Canada customer service. which again really isn't going anywhere at this point. And they told me they're waiting on hardware and that it's months out. So I got a hold of Leo, my guy here, and he told me that he told me the part numbers I needed. So he told me where the stock was. So I found a couple dealerships. No one's giving these bolts out because they're using them for the same issues, basically. So I called my original dealer, and they said they were willing to sell me some of these bolts. Now, this is only one side of the equation. I'm missing 9 bolts for the transfer case of transmission, and I'm missing 4 bolts for the transmission cooler, which, in my opinion, why aren't you reusing the transmission cooler bolts? It's literally like hardly any load bearing. I'm not an engineer, but hey, that's whatever, right? But Ford Canada was not able to get these. This is the part number. You know, W716375S900. You need 9 of them. They couldn't get them. They were sitting at my original dealer I bought my truck from. So I was able to get them. And those transmission cooler bolts, I've been having a hell of a time tracking down. They are nowhere. And if some dealers have 1, 2, and 3, and they're all spoken for. So everyone's holding on to the stock that they have. My original dealer said they had some in stock, but they ended up not having it. So that was unfortunate. So I actually found a authorized Ford dealer on eBay. I'm trying to use everything that I can to get these bolts. So I found them on eBay. It's an authorized Ford dealer out of Winnipeg, and they're shipping me 4 of them. And I had to do Ford's part in sourcing these bolts, which is just ridiculous in my opinion. You know, there should be some sort of system out there on Ford's end. Hey, if you're not using these bolts, you're not allocated for other customers, can we have them? And you just respond yes or no. Like, it's not rocket science. But anyway, who am I? Who am I to tell? But hopefully this is driving my wait time from November at best, January at worst. It is now August 2023, to hopefully getting my truck in a month. Hopefully. We'll see. But either way, it's been a nightmare. I know this can happen with any make out there. But my personal experience with Ford Canada has been major 2 thumbs down. So if you're thinking of buying a truck, you know, other than this transmission, I do love my F150. It's kind of weird to say that now. I really don't see me buying any other in the market. But just do your due diligence. This stuff does happen. I told myself it wouldn't happen to me because all my friends were like, hey, don't they have transmission issues? And I was like, I sloughed it off, you know, I'm like, they know what they're doing now. This transmission has been in trucks for a couple of years. But apparently there is still some variation in the 2021s to 2023s. And it is a problem from the 2021s to 2023s, from what I understand. So anyway, just be aware of Ford advertised services such as Roadside, Ford Customer Service. They really, really, really make it difficult for you to get a resolution or to talk to someone who can get you a resolution. That's been the biggest frustration for me, is that I can't talk to someone who can actually do something for me. So, all right, sorry guys, I got cut off there. My dad actually just called me, and he was gonna look at his dealers in Grand Prairie, and they had 5. So my dad is rushing over there right now to pick up the transmission cooler bolts, and then hopefully that is the missing piece to the puzzle. And well, alongside these, so we're gonna simultaneously send them to Revelstoke Ford and get my truck going. Hopefully. This is the only thing they're waiting on. But anyway, I had to take it upon myself to source the bolts, buy the bolts, send them to Ford, and get absolutely no reimbursement from Ford Roadside. Again, that was like pulling teeth as well, so I didn't even bother. So far, this has cost me around $1,000 out of my pocket. yeah, it's going to be even more by the time we get to Revelstoke and drive the truck back. So again, just be aware. Just be aware. Do your homework. I don't like slandering companies. Usually I stand behind Ford products, but I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do that anymore, just because of what happened to me. And it's unfortunate, but I want to get my story out there and let everybody know what the hell can happen, and the experiences that you might run into yourself. So as always, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please check out other videos on the channel. If you like what you see, subscribe, and bye for now.